Hi, Joseph. Hi, Joseph Kagunda.
Hi, Trish.
Yes, how are you?
I'm good. What of you?
Well, I'm good. Well, students here today were really stuck between having this class or a holiday. Then
We are having it. If you have checked at my chat, I've already indicated that we are having it. But at 6, that's when we'll start. So there is a link I've posted there. Let them take test and post the results and the ideal careers on the chat box.
Okay. Well,
Am I
guys,
clear?
there's a link. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So, guys, there's a link sent in the chat box. Before we start the class at 6:30, take the MBTI personality test. Then feel free to share it here in the chat section as we wait for the class.
Hi, students.
Hi.
Habari ya Madaraka ama ni Jamhuri? Which holiday is it?
Madaraka.
Hi. I think my mind is, I don't know when. Mko salama?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Maybe you.
You've done the test, eh?
Okay.
Oh, Trish.
Which test?
Yes, with the test. I know some people didn't want the class today, but there's also going to be a repeat class on Thursday. but we didn't want to stop this because it's always virtual anyway. So, pole for those that are hangovered by life and everything. So how you post your results is like, you post your personality, you post the type of career you would be in, and then you post the results, like the explanation of your personality. And we have the trainer coming in like 9 minutes. Eh?
Oh, we posted just here in the chat section.
Yes, on the chat section. She's going to like take you through the results.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So today's topic is quite interesting, actually, because it's more about job keeping, like skills, like key skills employers are looking for, and just how to maintain your job when you get into the job market. Like the expectations in the dynamic world of work. So it's quite relevant for those that are really looking for work. And do you know who the trainer for today is? Who have you missed? Hakuna. Oh, I think I need to tell my trainers not to be coming. Trish, kwa nini mnaongea na siwasikii? Kevin, you're talking.
No, I'm not talking.
Ah, okay, sawa.
Yeah.
I think it's your mic that is not muted, so I thought you were saying something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no problem. Yes, the way Ngare Wanjiro has posted. And I also want to encourage, like, for students with disabilities, it's always good to, like, because it's part of your identity. When you post in the chat box, it's also good to, like, say your name and I have ABC disability and I am this personality type and this is my kind of career line. That way we also start knowing, like, who is in the team. I see someone says they didn't receive their email. Maybe you need to check on your promotional email, you know, like on your junk mail or spam folder. Because if you've been receiving the others, like we always use the same method, but sometimes like you may have like a personal setting where you have put, how do you say, where you've put, how do you put it? Where you've put like restrictions on like emails that come to you. So just check it on your junk or spam folder. So I'm checking with the trainer and I'm going to just post, she's going to pick up the conversation from now. So just give me like a few minutes and she'll be joining. So our trainer today is Dr. Rose Rono. Had you guys missed her? I won't tell her what you say.
Well, yeah.
I think today people's energies are low.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is how you're going to be on 18th June when we have the career talk with Karaoke Ngari. You're going to let me down like this?
No, of course not.
Oh, that time you'll be shining, eh?
Very shining.
I am so waiting.
Yeah.
Before nianze kusema, gosh, my people and the way I sold them for $1 million and they sell me for $1.
No.
Yeah, today actually the session is not a hard one. She's literally going to just take like 45 to an hour. So let's wait for her. I'm just going to give her a call now and she'll be joining you guys shortly. Yes, you need to check on your spam folders. Those ones that those ones that are saying they didn't receive the email. There's always the link to the email on your spam or in your main folder. You need to add our email address to your mailing list.
Welcome, Madam Rose.
Thank you, John. Just give me a minute. Just set up my presentation.
Okay, no problem.
John, could you kindly allow me to present, Joseph? Sorry.
It's done, Madam Rose.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
You're now breaking, Dr. Rose.
Muted. Apologies for that. Can you be able to? Can you be able?
The screen is not yet up, but now we can hear you. The screen is up now.
Can you be able to see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it and hear you.
Is the screen up now? Me clearly?
Yes, it is up. It is up. It is up now.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm if you can hear me clearly. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you, Dr. Rose.
Okay, okay. So thank you so much. And I want to apologize for keeping you waiting on this. Something came up and I was not able to join in on time. However, I believe there's an exercise that Jen was able to give you, which we are going to discuss later on in today's class. So I'll just take you right away to introduce today's class because it's not going to be a very heavy class. It's going to be just a few topics which will now which will focus on how to be able to maintain your job or keep your job, because right now you're in the university and you're trying to look for a job. Maybe some of you have finished, some of you are towards finishing, and you're all thinking of getting that job. So once you get that job, how do you ensure that you keep that job? Then in terms of support work skills, you've already gotten your basic university degree. So what other skills can you be able to get to ensure that you continue supporting yourself in the workplace, you continue ensuring that you have relevance in the workplace, your work becomes easier, you're more creative, you're more productive. We're also going to discuss career growth because you're going to probably enter at entry level and you're not going to stay at entry level forever. You need to move up the ranks. If, for example, you're going to decide to become an employee, then if you're going as a management trainee or you're going in as an assistant, then you need to grow up. By the time maybe you're much older, or even sometimes people even reach becoming CEOs as young as 25 years old. So you need to be able to grow that. And what do you need to do to be able to grow that? So that's what we're going to also do today. Change management is another thing that we are going to discuss today. And for change management, we know the dynamic environment that we live in. Everything is changing all the time. If you remember in 2019, the work environment was completely different from what it is today. Nowadays, people even work from home. You find majority of people working from home. The dynamics of work has changed. And if you cannot be able to change with it, then you find yourself easily being thrown out of the workplace. So that is what we are going to discuss today. So you are going to understand how to keep your job, the importance of the support skills that you're required to have, understanding how to grow your career, and also managing change in the workplace. So first of all, I just want to ask, why should you keep your job? Why should you even have a job in the first place? And some of the things that I identified, and I want you guys to give me other things that you can think of, is financial stability. We are all looking at becoming better. We're all looking at, maybe you're not driving a car, you want to buy the next, a nice car. We are probably living in our parents' home, want to move, and live in your own home. You want to buy, there are things that you want for yourself. If you're a man, you probably want to marry. If you're a woman, you want to get married. And all that requires financial stability. So that's the reason why you probably want to keep your job. That could be one reason, maybe not for everybody, but it could be a reason for somebody. You also want to secure health benefits. Nowadays, healthcare has become very expensive. You all know that. And with employment comes, a possibility of an employer giving you health benefits. They probably take insurance for you, or even you have the financial stability to be able to get the best healthcare for yourself. There are people who also, want to keep their jobs because their jobs help them to impact society. They're able to do work that satisfies them internally. For example, there are those who are working in the UN jobs, they are working in volunteer organizations, or they want to work in those organizations. their purpose of work or why they want to keep their job is they feel that they're impacting society, and that's give them some level of satisfaction. Then another thing is that others could be practicing their passion. There are people who are, their jobs are maybe even in areas of sports. Somebody is a tennis player, somebody is a basketball player. And for them, they want to keep that job because it gives them, they have so passionate about it and they are happy doing it. Also a job, maintains one's dignity. And I think you notice most people who do not have jobs, they really, really, struggle in a lot of things, and that lowers their dignity. A lot of them are forced to, beg. Even you, as you're living maybe in your parents' home, sometimes you're feeling that every time you're asking for that pocket money, every time you're asking to be given something, you're feeling like your dignity is lowered. Why? Because you're at the mercy of somebody else. But your job, or getting a job, or even keeping that job that you have, maintains that dignity. Yeah. Then also occupying a job occupies one's time. So for example, if you never ever had a job, what else would you do? Like, from morning to evening. Let's say even if you had all the money in the world, if you didn't work, really, I think you'd probably feel so demotivated. You feel there's no purpose in life. So sometimes it just helps to occupy time. It helps. It's life. It's how life is made. So I just want to hear examples from you. If you are to get a job, what would be your motivation to keep that job? I want to hear from you guys. You can unmute yourself and tell us, why would you want to keep a job? What is your motivation? Can I hear from you? Why would you want to keep a job?
Financial.
Okay, I heard from somebody financial. Okay, somebody else?
My passion. I'd like to work in a career that keeps me motivated and with a purpose in life.
Excellent. Somebody else give us why they want to keep their job. Oh,
I want financial independence.
okay. Financial independence, that's important. Somebody else?
I want to improve and grow my career.
You want to improve and grow your career. So sometimes you'll find that at the entry level of your career, when you're starting, you probably are seeking financial stability or independence. But as you're growing more and more in your career, you'll be looking at different things. You'll not be looking at, sometimes you won't be looking at so much finance from the financial point of view. You'll be looking at, am I, getting satisfaction from this job? Do I like going to this place of work? Is this employer, giving me, the best, or is it giving me opportunity for growth? So sometimes as a new student, you're just looking for any job. As a new, job entrant in the market, you're looking for any job. But as you grow in your career, you'll find yourself, looking at, more other things as opposed to just financial stability. So I think that's what I wanted to say about that. So how do you maintain, or how do you keep your job? So there are many ways you can be able to do that. We'll go through some of them. And I would like to also hear from you what you think, or how ways that, you can be able to keep your job. Having good relationships with your co-workers. And the work environment is basically about relationships. You work through people. You don't work on your own. Even a sole proprietor will have, somebody who's doing something for them. So those good relationships will enable you to keep your job with your coworkers. Your coworker will basically depend on you for something. Maybe there's a job that you're doing that is impacting on them. For example, an organization, you have the marketing department, you have the HR department, you have the finance department. So if you don't do your job in finance, you're impacting your coworker who is in HR. If you don't do your job in HR, you're impacting your coworker who is in customer service. So those good relationships help you to keep your job, because what happens is that now the people that you work with realize the importance, or they realize your value in the organization, and they would want to keep you there, Then also, if you want to keep your job, be irreplaceable. And be irreplaceable means having a special skill, or even be outstanding in terms of your performance. You're the person who's always, exceeding their targets. You're the person who's always offering, the solutions. so that even sometimes organizations go into restructuring and they want to retrench because maybe, financial issues, also even maybe pandemic has really affected the organization. And if you are a irreplaceable person, I can guarantee you will be the last person to leave, because you'll be holding so many things within the organization to the point of people will be thinking, no, I think let's hold on, other people who are not as irreplaceable will go before you. So when you're joining an organization, identify those niches or those skills that make you irreplaceable in a way that the employer needs you more than you need them. Then also enhance in terms of your performance and also exceed your targets. If you're the person who's always exceeding targets, for example, you're working in sales, you've been given a target, been given a target of 1 million, and all of a sudden you're hitting targets of 2 million, 3 million, you're making money for the organization. That kind of performance will ensure that you keep your job. But if your target is like 1 million and then you're always doing 200,000, 300,000, what the employer will do will be like, there's probably somebody out there who can be able to hit these targets. So what they'll do is that they'll probably just give you a notice and ask you to leave and bring somebody who can be able to meet those targets. So ensure first of all, when you're at your workplace, be very clear with your supervisor, what are my targets? And don't just strive to meet those targets, strive to exceed those targets. If you are supposed to bring in 3 customers, bring in 10 customers. If you are supposed to, you are supposed to a customer satisfaction index of 90%, increase your customer satisfaction. That way, you're able to keep your job because you're always exceeding the performance. And when you're exceeding your targets, then the organization, it's a triple effect in the organization, whereby if you're exceeding your targets, then the organization is able to stay afloat. Be punctual. I think I mentioned this in the previous classes that we have. Being punctual, and also in terms of good attendance, by being punctual, always be there on time. And you can be there just for time, sit down, organize your desk, exactly, 9 o'clock, you've already planned, you know what you're going to do. Punctual person is always somebody who's perceived as being high performance. Sometimes even these people who are very punctual, they don't perform that well, but that just punctuality, that value or virtue of punctuality makes them really, really stand out. Also, in terms of the attendance record, going to work, people whom they'll go to work, 2 weeks, the 3rd week they are sick, the 4th week, or they have gone for a funeral. So it becomes like this is the person who's always having issues. In fact, the people are always wondering, you are the only one who always has problems in this organization. You're always going for funeral. Somebody has died, somebody is sick, and a lot of that come as a result of excuses. You can't just be the person who bad things always happens to you. So if you can keep a good attendance record so that you're not pointed out at that person who is not reliable, that person who is not committed to the organization, and attendance. Just know when you join organizations, in the HR policies, they normally have those things that you can be summarily dismissed in a way that they will not even be given a hearing. You've come late, this number of times, it's been documented. You can just be, relieved of your job, in terms of attendance, the organizations, if you don't show up for a number of days, you need to do. Also offering help to others. If you're somebody who's always looked at as a team, a team player, always offering help, then people will want to retain you in the organization. Also add valuable contributions. Don't be the person who will just do the bare minimum. Me, I'm going to work, I'm doing my
Dr. Rose, we've lost you.
8 to 5. You've told me to do this. I'm going to do exactly that. What's the added value that you can be able to give to that organization? What can you do that can leave that place better than it is? What is your footprint? What is your value? So if you, can you be able to?
We can't get you clearly.
You can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Now you can hear me. Can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I also was talking about taking more work. So don't be the kind of person who just wants to do the bare minimum. As I've said, need to take more work. If you can, if the boss feels that you're committed enough and asks you to do more work, don't be the kind of person who says it's not my work. Be committed, do that extra work, and that will be able to move you in terms of even how you are viewed in the organization. Flexibility, be flexible. Don't say me, I'm a HR person, me, I'm a marketing person, I can't be able to do this. That kind of flexibility, makes you a very valuable asset in the organization. It means you can be able to be like an entrepreneur. You can do almost everything. Then also have a good relationship with your supervisor. So this is most important. If you have, this is a person, can you be able to hear me? Byron, I'm seeing you're stuck. Can you hear? Okay, I couldn't read that, Byron, but I believe you can hear me. Yes, so having a good relationship with your supervisor, working longer hours. This is a bit controversial. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please do a thumbs up.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So I was talking about working longer hours. And working longer hours sometimes is controversial. You can work for so long and not have rest. So yes, don't also do it at the expense of your family. Then also having a positive attitude is important. Furthering your education, don't be the kind of person who is, you don't have a master's degree, so that when things minimum requirements. So ensure that when you're done with your degree, you've gotten a job, look at what next, what other qualification can I be able to get? There are those, certifications that you can be able to get, and they can be able to assist you even to further your career. Ask for feedback from your fellow colleagues, ask for your feedback from your supervisors. Always be the person who's coming up with solutions. I think I talked about that. Also follow company policy. When you report to an organization as a new employee, ask for the company policies, specifically the HR manual. If you can be able to get the HR manual, read through it and understand. Because sometimes you can just lose your job because of ignorance. You're not aware that this is what is required of in terms of company policy. So don't ignore those sensitizations. Sometimes organizations will do sensitizations of company policies. Listen to them and ensure you understand them so that you follow them and ensure that you're keeping your job. Staying on top of deadlines. If you're given a deadline, ensure that you meet it. And if you're unable to meet that deadline, or you suspect you're not able to meet it, communicate with your supervisor and tell them that I'm unable to meet it. Can you be able to extend for me? But don't always be the person who wants to be extended for the deadline. Try to meet the deadlines that you are given, unless your boss is very unreasonable. Another thing is also be organized. Always be organized. Your desk, how clean is it? Now we are in an IT kind of world. You don't need to have thousands of paperwork on your desk for people to know that you're working. Have a clean desk policy. Organize yourself. Even on your computer, organize. Don't just save all the documents on the desktop. Sometimes you go and do a PowerPoint presentation and you just see somebody's desktop is littered with complete everywhere with documents. You can just tell that is a disorganized person. So open folders. You have personal folder maybe for your personal things. You have a folder for maybe marketing stuff for your department. You have a folder for create folders which will organize you in a way that you become more organized, and it becomes even easier to be able to retrieve documents. It becomes easier to be able to work around with people because you're an organized person. So I want to also hear from you other good tips that you may have that can help you to maintain your job. Yes, John, I can see John's hand up. You can speak up, John. Unmute yourself and tell us. John Mutua, your hand is up. Okay, does somebody else want to say something in terms of job maintenance, how you can be able to maintain your job? Does somebody else have an idea or a suggestion on what you can do? Yes?
Hello. It's just maybe. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Proceed.
Yeah. For me, I can say, in case I'm not going to the job, you tell the manager that I won't be available or I'm sick in advance. Yeah.
Yes, that is excellent. Communication, always communicate. Don't assume. Don't come after you are sick. Now you are coming with a sick note, and then they are asking, oh, where were you? This is happening, and it's gonna take me approximately this time, and I'm going to be back in the office at this time. That way they know what to expect from you. Can I have Maobe? Maobe, you have something? Maobe, your hand is up. Hello. Or Maeba? Yes?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I had a question. It's part of this.
Yes.
Can keeping company secrets maintain your job?
Yes, yes, yes. In many organizations, when you are a new employee, you'll be asked to sign an oath of secrecy, or and it will also be part of the code of conduct that you will not reveal company secrets, because if you're found to be revealing company secrets, the organization can even, take you to court, because there are some organizations who are very sensitive. They have competitors who are always seeking for information on, new secrets, on how they are doing well. So sometimes it will be important to keep those company secrets. I think most times, I wouldn't say sometimes. Angela Osodo?
Yeah, can you say you have a respect for diversity? Because sometimes you can work with people of different races, religion, or even gender. So you need to understand their opinion and how they relate and their culture.
I can't hear you, Angela.
Yeah, I was saying, having respect for diversity in terms of race or religion, or maybe even gender, because different people have different cultural backgrounds and opinions.
Kindly repeat that, Angela. I couldn't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
We can hear you, Angela. It's Rose inside that's breaking up.
Can you hear me, Angela?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can I talk now?
Can you hear me?
You're breaking.
Yes, we can hear you, Angela.
Yes.
Dr. Rose, you are breaking.
Exactly. That's we have Gabriel. Yes, yes. Okay, okay. Gabriel, maybe you can say something.
Yeah. Yeah, being professional and also proper grooming.
Okay, that's excellent. Somebody else? So I think we've all exhausted in terms of our contributions. We'll go to the next topic, which is support skills. And by support skills, we mean other skills, or I mean other skills that you need to have, you need to cultivate that will help you in the workplace. Sometimes this you might not be taught in the university. You might go out of your way to be able to learn it. Maybe in the workplace, you might get a certification for it. And you might learn it also just through experience as you continue to work. Some of the skills include computer literacy. And I think nowadays, most universities are teaching this computer literacy, whereby you get to learn the basic packages that are there. So it's important, when you go, now most organizations are using computers. It's no longer paperwork, unless you're going to work in a manufacturing, plant. So it's important to be computer literate. ICT skills, nowadays, when you look at issues to do with finance, HR, they are managed through systems. We have like the ERP system. This is the enterprise resource planning system, which just the finance function, the HR function, the procurement function are all, part of a system. Also, we have a customer relationship management system, which just manages customer interactions. And there are quite a number of such systems that organizations are now using. So you might go into the organization and that system might be used. So it will be important for you to be able to make yourself conversant with that, request to be trained on it. And if you can be able to even, practice on it in your spare time, if you can be able to access some of these even before you get a job, sometimes you'll find employers will even say that it's an added advantage if you have special skills like, use of ERP, use of CRM. So find out in your profession, which are these specialized ITC skills, that are ICT skills that are required. Nowadays, almost every profession has an application that is helping them to be able to do their work much easier. So find out the specific one for your organization and be conversant with it. Project management skills, these are very important. Organizations nowadays are structuring their teams into projects, into a team that is diverse, aimed at achieving a project. So if you can be able to learn project management, you can be able to get free online courses that you can do. But if you're in the ICT field, I would recommend you do some project management certification. For example, Prince 2, PMP, there are some project management courses which are important, because in ICT, there's a lot of project management that is happening in ICT. Also social and communication skills, know how to interact with people, communication, know when to communicate what. And I think I lectured on this exhaustively in the past lectures that I talked about. Report writing skills, a lot of things we're going to do is to do with reports. So if you can be able to write good reports, you'll find yourself, being the person that is standing out. Second language, I want to talk about this, especially in relation to working with international organizations. If you are aspiring to work with the UN, you're aspiring to work with those non-governmental bodies, it's important to have a second language. If you have English, try and get French, try and get another language. You'll always find that for those bodies, when they advertise jobs, they'll tell you that a second language is an added advantage to you. Conflict resolution in the workplace is always conflict. There will always be conflict because of our different personalities. So if you're the person who's always a peacemaker, then that's a good thing to have. That's a good work support skill to have. Negotiations, you'll always be negotiating one thing or another, whether it is with your colleague, whether it is your supplier, whether with a customer. So those negotiation skills, if you can be able to continuously hone them up, then you'll find yourself really rising up in terms of leadership. Leadership skills, I think we went through this in the previous class. Leadership, if you can be able to study leadership, identify the kind of leadership that you want to have and start inculcating it, that's a skill that stands out, especially for somebody who wants to rise into at the top of the organization. You want to become the CEO, you want to become the manager, manager of a department, head of a department, then you need to study leadership and start practicing it so that you are picked out, somebody sees that you stand out and they can be able to give you that responsibility. Customer satisfaction or service delivery is also very important. Most organizations have customers and, they always put their customers first. So if you can be able to have that person who has super customer service skills, then you'll find yourself always excelling in your career and you'll never lack a job. Records management is very important. As I talked about this in terms of how you organize yourself. Records nowadays have become even soft. They are no longer the hard copies, but organizations still have hard copies. So it's important to know how to manage records. There will be times whereby you'll be called upon even to, if you work in government, especially in government agencies, sometimes you will be called upon to, pull your opinion on something might even save you. Maybe the ESCC are coming to investigate something, and you could be having that physical, this opinion you wrote, maybe even somebody plucked it from the file. But if you have stored it yourself, you can be able to produce and say, yes, this is what I said. So it's important to have, proper record management skills. It makes you organized, makes you be able to retrieve your documents much more easily. Creative thinking, there's something called design thinking also that I've heard is the new buzzword. So basically, I think being creative, noticing what are the problems that are there in the workplace that you can be able to provide solution for. Then telephone etiquette, these people really underestimate because they think it's something for customer service people alone. It's not. In the workplace, when you go to the workplace, especially when you're receiving calls which are coming through the official line, you need to be able to have telephone etiquette skills, know how to be able to respond to a customer, know how to greet them, know how to close the call. So you should just understand what are the, what is there. Does the organization have, some telephone etiquette, or even email etiquette? Not only telephone etiquette, we also have email etiquette. How do you respond, on emails? How do you address, a certain person in an organization? How do you address your customers? So those are skills that also you need to read about when you go into the organization. Try and understand, how do they do things in this organization? And you can even introduce and say, I've seen this is a good thing. Can we be doing this? Then decision-making ability is also important. There are a lot of indecisive employees out there, and the employees who are decision makers are the ones who always rise up to leadership. So if you can be able to inculcate that, skill of being able to, discern, analyze, situations and, look at the pros and cons of this and make a quick decision, then you really stand out. Also having that continuous learning mindset, don't be the person who be like, I'm into IT, and, you don't want to learn any other thing, or I'm an accounting person, you don't want to learn any other thing, have that mindset of wanting to learn more and more and more. And most of the time you'll find in leadership, you will not be a leader of a particular profession. You will be a leader of all the professions in that organization. So it's important for you to learn every other thing. And how you do that is having an open mind. Sometimes you're even taken to a department where you have no clue of what is happening there. You've never even trained for that. But having that open mindset of continuously learning will be able to, help you to take that opportunity, learn those lessons, of that new department that you might not even have a background in. Innovation, if you can be that person who is always innovative, always, analytical in their thinking, discerning, I think that's very important. Also complex problem solving, if you can be able to solve, problems. Organizations have problems, you are the person who's always coming up with a solution. That's a really, really important skill because it means you are reliable. Then we have emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is basically, knowing what to say and when to say it, knowing how to relate to people, maturity, knowing, how to be restrained in terms of, your emotions, managing your emotions. If you're very annoyed, don't just react, you can be able, to step out of the situation and reevaluate, knowing how to treat people, people in different areas, whereby you are mature in terms of how you react. Your emotions are mature. You're not that kind of person who is like, a pressure cooker, is always just blowing up, and it's a very important skill in the workplace because you're able to build good relationships if you have emotional maturity. Also learning agility, which is the same thing, be agile, be flexible, be able to, be that person who's continuously learning. It's the same as what I had mentioned before. So at this juncture, I'd just like to hear from you in terms of your specific professions, which are some of the work, skills, support work skills that are important for your specific professions. If you're an accountant, you're a HR person, marketing, what are the specific skills that are important to you? I can hear from you. Do we have anybody? Okay, I think you guys are okay. I can go to the next. In terms of career growth, and I'll just start by defining what a career is. A career can be defined as a sum of total decisions that direct your education, social, economic, political, and spiritual endeavors and reflect your unique personality, characteristics, and basic life values. So that is your career, the decisions that you make, right from the decision that you made in terms of the course that you took in the university, that already, signals to what career you want to live, looking at the decisions that you make to the school you are going to, the social settings that you will be in, the economical, in terms of the sector that you want to be in, political, all those things, are all build up to what your career is. So why should you grow your career? That's what I want to ask you, class. Why should you grow your career? Can I hear from at least one person or why it's important to grow your career? Can I hear from anybody whose hand is up? Can I hear somebody why it's important to grow your career? So I think you guys have decided to go mute on me. Maybe we can go to how do you measure career success before we can be able to look at tactics and tips on how you can be able to grow your career. How do you measure career success? And there are very many ways you can measure your career success, depending on your own values. There are those who look at financial rewards. If I have the highest salary, then I feel that I have become very successful. I had been able to earn the six-figure salary. I live in the poshest estate. I drive the biggest car. I think those financial rewards, there are people who measure it like that, and it's not bad. Then level of knowledge and expertise. There are people who measure that, if I'm the guru or the person to go to in my career, that is, for them success. Then there are those who measure success from, career success from job satisfaction. Does this job make me happy? Am I satisfied? Am I happy to wake up in the morning and to go to do this on a daily basis? That inner satisfaction. There are those who measure through that. Then we also have those who measure it through the impact they make in society. If I make an impact in society through my career, then I'm very successful. I will have been very successful in my career. There are those who measure it through recognition. Yeah, have I been awarded? There are those who get the Nobel Peace Prizes. There are those who are recognized in one way or another. They are top 40, under 40, or top CEO. There are those who look at that, and you can look at even people like celebrities. The more popular you are, and then that's a measure of how successful they are. So I think you can be able to pick out from this and see. You don't have to limit yourself to one. You can have a mix of all, because we cannot run away from financial. You have to take care of your basic needs. You cannot run away from learning. It's important to continuously learn. And it's important to also have a job that satisfies you. Don't have a job, or don't be so tolerant to a job that when you wake up on Monday, you don't want to go to work. That's not satisfaction. Importantly, impact. Don't just go to a job to satisfy yourself as an individual. Look at, does my career, impact the society in a positive way? Am I contributing in a positive way to the society? And recognition and popularity are also good, because it raises your self-esteem. You feel good, that I've been recognized. People have recognized the hard work, because building a career is really hard work. It takes years, it takes, late nights, it takes, in financial investment in terms of education. So when you're recognized and you become popular, it's also very good. It's a good feeling to have. So in terms of how you grow your career, I have so much time, we just have 5 minutes. You grow your career through choosing your career early, by just the decision that you've made for the course that you are doing at the university. That is a choice that you've made. Choose your career early, align your career with your personality. I think I sent you guys a link which was showing, it was the Myers-Briggs type indicator, shows the different personalities. And at the end of it, it was giving you a result of your personality. And if you went further, you would see that it would show you which kind of careers that you would be in. So this avoids, taking this test avoids you from not aligning yourself, to a career that, that you would be happy in. So sometimes you need to do that. And then furthering your education, I talked about that. Networking with other professions in your career. Find out who are the senior professionals in your career. Network, get to know them, go to these events where they are. These are people you'll be able to learn from, and these are people that they'll be your role models and can even be your mentors. Don't be afraid to change employers. I think young people are very good at this. Sometimes rising up in an organization might even require lateral movement, whereby you might not get an opportunity within the organization to go up. You can move across, and then when an opportunity is advertised within that organization that you left, you can go back and get it. So sometimes movement can be lateral, whereby you move from one employer to another until you get where you want to. But sometimes too much movement is not good, because probably somebody can look at it and wonder, what have you been running away from? Then don't be afraid, to change your career. You can also change your career. If you feel that I went to school for this, but this is not my passion. My passion is this. It's never too late to change your career. Personally, I think I changed my career like 2 years ago. I was a marketing and communications person, but I all of a sudden just gained interest in international trade. And now I'm more of an international trade person than more of a communications and marketing person. Then I identify a mentor early and work with them to be able to assist you to get better in terms of that career, and let that mentor be in that line of your career. Also read widely on new developments in your career. So be that person who's always reading. Personally, I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and from 6 to 7 o'clock, I'm reading something. I'm reading an article in the line of my work, and that way I'm growing on a daily basis. Also read a book. If you can, read a book. Write articles and opinion pieces. Nowadays, you don't have to, send your article to the newspaper. You can write and publish on your LinkedIn. You can come up with a blog, and that way you are able to grow. People are able to notice there's this person in our career who is contributing. Network in social forums like LinkedIn. Join a professional society for your organization. For example, marketers, we have Marketing Society of Kenya. PR people, we have the Public Relations Society of Kenya. HR, we have the, I think the Society for HR, IHRM. Also, don't be afraid of failure. As you entering the workplace, you will fail a couple of times, but take that opportunity of failure to learn. Learn from that failure and get better. The mistake would be to repeat the same thing that you did. If you can learn from it and not do it again, that becomes experience, which is very important. Then also have a career plan and update it. As you're now entering the workplace, have a career plan. Write it down. This is what I want to do by this time, and this is what is required of me. I probably need to get a master's. I need to get this. I need to get this. Have a plan and say, in this year, my first year of work, I'm going to achieve this. You can even say, my first year of work, I'm just going to achieve experience and networking. Then second year, I can say, okay, maybe I'll have some little money. I can start my master's. Third year, so have that plan and be ticking on a yearly basis. You're ticking. You're saying, okay, this year I did this for my career. This year I did this for my career. You'll find yourself growing your career, because you're doing every year, you're being intentional about growing your career, as opposed to just letting other people run your career. Then step out of your comfort zone, sign up for projects outside your main area. Don't just saying that me, I'm a marketing person, I can't do this. You'll find people who become leaders, CEOs. They have gone to many, they've moved from one profession to another. They have changed professions so many times. And in that change, they have been learning, and that is what has molded them to become leaders. And I believe you're all aspiring to become leaders. Also learn how to delegate. Don't be the person who's hoarding and wants to do everything, delegate, let people also assist you to do things. Then last but not least, take a holiday, live, healthy, spend time with your family, because all work but no play makes Jack a dull boy. So don't focus so much on career at the expense of your family, at the expense of your health, at the expense of, your social life. So it's important to have that work-life balance, whereby when it's work, it's work. And then when it comes to time to play, also play hard, enjoy yourself. And let that time of enjoyment give you some form of motivation. Go on holiday and just, leave work completely. Don't have work in your mind. When you come back to the workplace, you'll be more refreshed. you'll have more ideas and you'll become more productive. So I think I'll just go to the last, which is not also a very difficult topic. Change management is the last one. And change management is defined as the methods and manners in which a company describes and implements change within both its internal and external environments. This includes preparing and supporting employees, establishing necessary steps for change, and monitoring pre- and post-change activities to ensure successful implementation of changes. So any change in an organization or to an employee's role has to have, it can cause stress, and stress can be overwhelming when an employee is always dealing with mental health issues. So there are organizations who are always constantly changing, and it can have a negative psychological impact on employees. So if you're always changing, then you are always having employees not certain of what is going to happen next, and it can affect them. For example, if you're not so sure about your job security, if you're not so sure whether this organization is a going concern, if they are going to change in terms of restructuring, would my job still be there? We are doing job evaluations. Will my job still be part of the structure? Will I be demoted? So those are issues that, come up, in terms of change management, and the organizations need to deal with it. And you also as an employee need to deal with it. So I'm going to take you through how you as a leader, you need to prepare for change, because you're going to go to organizations and you'll be a manager of a section, you will be a leader of a department. So it's important that you prepare for change. And how do you do this? You set expectations of the ongoing change with all employees. So if you have employees you're supervising, ensure that you communicate to them of what, what is your expectations from them. Also help them understand why the change is happening in the organization. If they understand, then they will be able to assist you to be able to implement that change. Even in making the decision to change, involve them in making that decision. Then celebrate or recognize the good work that has been done under the old system. Don't look as if the past was nothing. The old system, the way we used to do things was just bad. No, there are things that were good and were able to get you to where you are. So always celebrate and recognize the good work that anybody did in the older system, and encourage them now to be able to embrace the new system. Then for every change, create an honest and positive and accessible, compelling vision of the intended outcome. That is, communicate why is it important for us to change as an organization? If we don't change, what will happen? What is in need for the employee? Always communicate that. Be specific about why and how the change will be implemented. Openly discuss potential pros and cons of the proposed change. Link the change to previous similar positive changes. So if you can be able to provide experiences of how organizations changed and they were able to survive, or how change happened in an organization and employees even maybe got better salaries or had better working conditions, if you can be able to show that as a leader, then you will have better buy-in in terms of change. Then break the change up into small and incremental steps. No need of just giving the employee and say, oh, this is what we're going to change, all this at once. No, sometimes people will need to be taken to change slowly so that they don't resist it. They do small things to the point of now you can be able to look at the bigger picture. Then keep on repeating, don't go back to how things were done. Keep on repeating the new thing until it becomes the new normal. Then last but not least, as an employee, how do you prepare for change? Most importantly, keep an eye out for the changing environment around your career and your organization. So in your career, always have, that heartbeat to say that what's changing in my career. If the membership of organization has said that everybody must undergo this course, know that, I think IHRM, introduced a course that most people in the HR profession are supposed to undergo. Same to the procurement. So if you don't keep, abreast with those changes, you'll find that you be outdated. When you're applying for jobs, you will not have that qualification. So keep abreast. Also keep your ear on the ground on what is happening in the organization. Be in those social circles to understand. Sometimes it can save your life. Retrenchment could even be a word that is being talked in the boardroom. It could get to you. Maybe the retrenchment is 3 months away, and you can start looking for a job immediately. And the only way you can do that is having your ear on the ground and, sensing the changes that are going and not reacting to it, but being proactive to the change. Then don't be afraid to suggest changes. Changes can be initiated by you as an employee. So don't always wait for management to initiate a change. Even you can say, yes, I have seen something and we can be able to change. or suggest a change. Always be ready for change. Don't be too comfortable. And they always say, if you find yourself very comfortable, just know you can be caught unawares, and you will not be, you not like what will happen to you. So if you find yourself being too comfortable, seek for change. Find out, why am I just so comfortable in this? What can I do to be able to make myself progress? And then volunteer to be a change champion. Sometimes you have organizations who will implement change programs through, change champions. So you can become a change champion of your department, just to ensure that you are implementing that change within the department. Accept the change and move to the new status quo quickly. Then have a positive outlook towards the change. Give feedback on the change to your supervisors. Ask questions about the expected changes. Then plan for the change, plan how you are going to align yourself as a person, as an employee to that change, so that it also benefits you. So that is it for today. Thank you so much for listening. I want to hear if you have any questions, and apologies that I joined this session late. And maybe you can also give me your feedback on some of what you got from the test that you did today, the online test that you did. Can I have some feedback? Anybody with a feedback on the test that they did today, or even the discussions we have had today? So I don't see anybody with any feedback, so I take it back to Joseph. No, Angela is there. Yes, Angela, tell us something.
Actually, mine is a question.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, sometimes you're told your profile doesn't look good if you keep moving from one employer to the other. What is the appropriate number of years you should stay in one company before you move to the next one?
Well, I would say at least 3 years is a good 3 years is a good time to be able to stay, because in the first year you will be doing a lot of learning. In the second year, you will be able to make an impact, and in the third year, you'll be able to solidify yourself in that organization. However, it should not mean that now you have, from the time when you're 25, by the time you're getting to 45, you have 30 employers. You only move if you feel that your organization is no longer meeting your professional needs. So sometimes it's not just about moving for purposes of moving. Evaluate that move and see, is it a positive move to you? Are you gaining anything new? Are you moving from officer level to manager level? Am I getting more money? So sometimes it can be judged that you moving from one organization to another too frequently, then the prospective employer, maybe you're sitting in an interview, will be like, even this person will just stay here for just a short time, then they will leave. So they will pick maybe somebody who has stayed in an organization for much longer. So I think I would say 3 years, but if you can stay at least so that you're not moving too much, then that would be a good thing. It should look good on your CV.
Thank you.
Any other comment from anybody?
Oh, I had a question.
Yes.
My question is the personality test accurate? Because the last time I took the test, it showed that I'm an advocate. Then the second time I took the test, and is it accurate?
I didn't hear you clearly. You said the.
Oh, I'm saying, is the personality test something that is reliable? Because you find it changing. Like last time I took the test, it showed I'm an advocate, and then the second time it showed I'm a defender. Is it accurate with the changes?
Well, okay, you took it today twice, or you took it another time and then you took it today?
Oh, I took it like is it a month ago? Then today I took it once.
Okay, it is possible that the answers that you change, you answered a month ago, maybe you changed something a bit, because it's normally just an algorithm. So if you change even one answer, then it can be able to give you a different outcome. So maybe if you can be able to do a few more, and then maybe don't limit yourself to MBTI alone. I can share with you other personality tests that you can use, and then it can be able to help you to narrow down to the particular personality. That's just one of them. There are others that you can be able to use, which if you do like a couple of them, it will really show you towards, it will be consistent. You'll find that 2 or 3 of them are consistent, and it will give you what you're looking for.
Okay, thank you.
Does anybody else have a question before I take it back to Joseph? So I don't think there's any. Joseph, you can take over. And apologies again for today. I think we started late, but I'm happy we've been able to complete in terms of the content that was required.
Thank you, Dr. Rose, for the time that you've been with us. Apologies accepted. And of course, we've learned a lot from whatever we shared in that short session, and we are glad. So now, I don't think there are any announcement today, unless Jane is on the call, but I doubt if she's here. In her absence, we shall just go to our last section, which is always learning a new signing. And today we are going to sign the word "be the change." I know Madam Rose has taught us on the change management aspect. So today we are going to sign the word "be the change." Byron, over to you.
Well, that will depend on the context. If you are telling someone be the change, then you just point. You just be the change. Okay. If it's general, then you can do be the change.
Okay, we can try the two while telling one and the general one. So let's go with the first one.
Just
we can all turn our cameras on.
Just point be the change. Okay. It's like a fist, then you alternate change. Again, be the change. Then the second one is open palm with the thumb at the middle. That is the hand shape B. So be the change. Be the change.
Okay, we can all try that as we sign off. Be the change. Okay, thank you all. Have yourself a good evening and a wonderful night. See you in our next class on Thursday. Good night.
Thank you, you too.